Namaste everyone. Let's talk about Bangladesh. And we need to talk about Bangladesh because something big is going on in Bangladesh. Something big is going on in the name of quota system in Bangladesh. The Bangladeshi students are burning down their cities, burning their bridges, burning the trains, burning the cars in the name of quota because government of Bangladesh have came up with a rule to reserve 30% seats in the government jobs for the families of veterans, those who fought 1971 Bangladesh Liberation War against Pakistan. So you can clearly see that there was no reasons for the Bangladeshi students to fought against this quota bill, because this is one of the finest bill that is providing the supports to the people, those who were responsible for the independence of Bangladesh from a oppressors called Pakistan. Anyway, let's not get into their internal matter. But we need to know that what is happening in Bangladesh. Something fishy is going on after, because the protest which is going on, and this has become very violent. As it has become violent, the government of Bangladesh has to take some tough measures. And 105 people have already lost their lives. As a result, the government of Bangladesh has to deploy military in an aid of civilian outfits like police or any other law agencies. And the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has imposed curfew across the nations when an attack was targeted the Narsingdi prison. The prison was targeted by the group of students. Can it be believable? Why the students will going to attack a prisons where the criminals are there? So this is the first suspicion that someone or some of the other countries may have some involvement in fomenting such a violent riot in Bangladesh. That is why I am saying that someone or some countries or some groups are funded by some countries outside. They are helping those groups to foment such kinds of violent riots. And Bangladeshi government has to shut down the bus services and the train services because the buses and the trains are being burned by these protesters, the so-called students. The internet services has been shut down and the social media networks is not working, as if the internet is not working. Some mobile telephone services has been cut off because the mobile telephone services are being used by the protester or the groups to foment some kind of radicalized messages among these students to make this protest more violent. The educational institute that include the schools and the colleges has been shut down, and the police in Dhaka said they are banning all gatherings and demonstration in the capital. So these are the steps the government of Bangladesh needed to be taken because the protest has become very violent. They became violent that they were burning the cities in such a way they were hurting their own interest, because the government properties these protesters are burning has been built with the help of the tax dollar of the people of Bangladesh. There is no meaning of burning down the government properties. Someone or some countries have influenced these protesters to do such kind of heinous acts. The protester also surrounded and set fire one of the major broadcasting units of state-run Bangladeshi TV, the BTV in Dhaka. They threatened to kill the people, those who were working in that building, the BTV building. The Bangladeshi Prime Minister has to cancel her Spain and the Brazil tour due to the prevailing situation. If she was out of the country, or she goes out of the country, then something bigger comparison to this might have happened. Then who will be responsible for that? There are so many other people who are going to lost their life because of the some rash move. That is why the Bangladeshi Prime Minister has decided to cancel her visit and staying in Bangladesh to control the situation and to control the internal matter and the control the groups, those who are fomenting the riots. And the Bangladeshi Law Minister Ansul Haq has already declared that the Sheikh Hasina government was ready to hold dialogue with protesters. But these protesters were not ready to hold the dialogue with Prime Minister. And Bangladeshi High Court or Supreme Court has already temporarily banned to implement this quota bill. So there is no way to make this protest or to bring this protest to such a level that will going to destroy their own country. But they are doing so because of the influence of, there are several countries, those who are influencing the internal matter, that China is one of them. And recently, Sheikh Hasina went to China with a delegation size of 196 members. That includes cabinet colleagues, top government officials, and the business leaders. And the Bangladeshi government asked China to give them $5 billion loan, as its foreign reserves is dwindling, but China offered them only 1 million yuan, which is equivalent to only $137 million. You can compare the $5 billion and the $137 million, only $137 million. Bangladesh is going through the foreign exchange reserve crunch. As a result of that, Bangladeshi government or Prime Minister has asked China that they have the business of $23 billion between themselves, or the bilateral trade volume is $23 billion. So as a result of that, and China's share is almost around $22 billion, they ask for $5 billion as a loan, not as a grant or not as a money that China has to give Bangladesh, or Bangladesh will never going to return. Bangladesh is not Pakistan. They will going to return that money to China, but China offered them only $137 million. And Bangladesh's contribution in this $23 billion is less than $1 billion. Bangladesh exports is only less than $1 billion. So trade deficit has forced Bangladesh to ask China a little amount of money that will going to help them to reduce the tensions which is there for the foreign exchange reserves crunch. And the Bangladeshi government has already approached the IMF, has already approached India, and India has already helped them. India helped Sri Lanka with $4 billion. That helps Sri Lanka to make their economy back, to build their economy back. And India is also helping Bangladesh to build their economy back. But the situation is very dwindling. As a result of that, Bangladesh needs more money. And Bangladesh consider China as its closest friend. So Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina asked $5 billion, they refuse. And there is a reason behind that. Recently, to reduce the trade deficit between China and Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina government has decided to reduce the import from China a week of $8 billion to a week of $5 billion or less than $5 billion. And there is a port in Bangladesh called Mongla Port that was given to Indian government or Indian Port Global Limited for 30 years. China was asking for that port, and Indian government and Bangladesh government has told China that they will not going to give them the port. India is the first priority for them, and they gave that port to India because India needed that port to build their communications with the northeastern state, which does not have or does not share the boundary with the Bay of Bengal. As a result of that, India has become very helpful, and India has become very helpful in order to send the goods through the Mongola port to the northeastern states. And that pissed off China. And there is a reason behind that. Because China is trying to encircle India by occupying ports in the different countries. China has already occupied port in Hambantota. China has already occupied port in Maldives. China was trying to occupying the port in Bangladesh and tried to occupy the port in Sitaway, Myanmar. But Sitaway also went. Also, the Sitaway port is also belongs to India. And the Chabahar port is also belongs to India. India has taken the rights of doing the business using these ports. That has annoyed China. China wanted to have the dominance in the Indian Ocean region because of the Malacca dilemma. And China sends their spy ships, those they called the research ships, in Hambantota and Maldives. They wanted to send their such kinds of ships near to the Indian border, where they wanted to scan these ports. Why they are sending these kind of research ships or the spy ships in the Indian Ocean region? What is the reason behind that? The reasons is only that they were scanning the Indian Ocean region for their submarines, because Indian Ocean region is very important, strategically important position, and it holds the key for China's geopolitical dominance in South Asia region. They wanted to take care of the Mongola port, or wanted to take over the Mongola port, but Bangladesh refused, and that pissed them off. Now, why I am saying that Pakistani ISI is also involved in this matter? Because China will not going to do anything in South Asian countries by himself, by using their own assets. They will going to use their assets which is in Pakistan, because Pakistan is kinds of an henchman of China. Pakistan is being used by China. China gave them $40 billion in the name of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, which went to drain, and that money will never be recovered. That money has been devoured by the Pakistani bureaucracy, Pakistani politicians. They have invested those money in other countries like United Kingdom, USA, Australia, or New Zealand. And the China knew that, but they give them the $40 billion, and in return, because Pakistan has failed to return those money, as a result of that, Pakistan has become the handful man of China, using their asset. China is using their asset to foment the violence in India, Bangladesh, and the other countries. And why I am drawing such kinds of equivalence, that if something is happening in Bangladesh, something similar has happened in India. That is 2022 farmer protest. In 2022 farmer protest, the Indian government has noticed that something fishy was going on, because there were so many NGOs, those who were getting the help, those who are getting the money from outside. Outside means not from China, using the Hong Kong base or some other countries where the taxation, where they do not have to pay the taxes on the money they were donating to the other countries. So the flow of the money within India has increased and at tremendous level. And what the protesters were doing, the protesters were getting the help from these NGOs, and they were blocking the routes, those who were leading to capital Delhi. They were blocking every road, those who were leading to capital Delhi. And what they did, they blocked the road for 1 year, until the government of India has came up with a decision that these laws will not going to get implemented, and the government of India is withdrawing those bills. Until then, the protesters were there, the money was invested, because to do the protest, to do something somewhere, money is required. And those protesters were faceless. Faceless means there were some leaders, but some of the leaders were not organic. Organic means they did not have any organization, but they made or build those organizations within a night or within a day. So how this organization came up suddenly from nowhere, registered with the government of India, registered with the other organizations around the world, and they started getting the money. These are the similar things are happening in Bangladesh. That is why I'm speculating that it is the same thing the Chinese are doing so. And there is a similar countries, those who are involved in doing such kinds of acts. That is the United States. United States also may have some hands in doing these kinds of thing, using the Pakistan as its asset. Why I'm saying that Pakistan is an asset of the United States and the China, because China has already gave them $40 billion, and the United States gave Pakistan billions of dollars through the IMF. And the IMF is an organization that called the International Monetary Fund, but it is highly influenced by the United States, and the United States always gave them loan, or gave Pakistan loans, and that loans never been returned by Pakistan ever in their life. They have taken almost 100 billions or more than 100 billion dollars of loan from the IMF, and nothing has returned to IMF. So ISI is kinds of an organization that will going to do anything if they are being paid by anyone. Not only the United States or China, even the India somehow will going to invest some of the money in ISI, or by using the third party, then they will going to do the work in any countries. That is how the ISI works. That is how mean they are. They only means money. They do not have ideology. They are not in the love with their country, because their country, Pakistan, is burning. Banu, BANNU, is a place in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. It's dominated by a groups called the Pashtuns, and they are killing them. The Pakistani army are killing them. It's kind of an Jallianwala Bagh happening in Pakistan right now. Why it is happening? Their economy, the Pakistani economy, is in shambles. It is $222 billion economy, has no money to feed their own population. Look at their system. Look at their governmental systems. They have the fudged election that was funded by the United States, and there was a man, the Imran Khan. Imran Khan was the politician who has been persecuted by the Pakistani government with the help of the United States. The United States never wanted Imran Khan to be a prime minister of Pakistan, and they were removed. And Donald Lu, there was some report that Donald Lu, the man from the State Department, was involved in doing so, because the government of the United States has different kinds of agencies like NED, National Endowment for Democracy, the agencies, or the stooge man like the George Soros Open Societies Foundation. These are the groups, or these are the individuals, help the people, those who are discontent, those who have a discontent in a particular country, or the opposition parties in a particular country, funded them, influenced the election, and influenced the economy. Their only factor is money. They needed money. They do not have any ideology. They do not have any process. They do not follow the law and order. They only need money. In this time, the thing the United States ambassador did, that the Peter D has, when he came as an ambassador of Bangladesh in 2022, since then he started influencing Sheikh Hasina's government. In 2023, he tried to influence Sheikh Hasina's government because he oversaw the imposition of visa restrictions of Bangladeshi government officials and the politicians, and tried to influence the general election of Bangladesh 2024. He was very vocal of Bangladeshi elections. He he was speaking in such a way that he was laying his support for the BNP, Bangladeshi National Party, and its leader, and its leader, the Khaleda Zia. Khaleda Zia is kind of a leader who is a radicalized Islamic leader, and whose political party is following it's impose such kind of Sharia law in Bangladesh, kinds of in Sharia law that United States government always is against, at least in open, but they do invest in such kinds of leader that will going to help them to disturb the environment, the internal policies of India or the external policies of India, because United States is not very happy with the India's policy, because India has been very defiant of importing oil from Russia. United States always wanted Russia to support Ukraine and its president, the clown Zelensky. Why India will going to support Ukraine against Russia? Why the peoples are not reading about the things? The 2008 Bucharest NATO summit. Something happened in the Bucharest. That is the result of the Bucharest we are seeing in the 2024. I will going to tell you something in detail about what had happened in the Ukraine, because that is not organic, that is not natural. And I'm not saying that Russia is a very pious country. They also did something wrong, but they push them to the corner. Now get back to the Peter D. Haas. What Peter D. Haas did after that, he threatened to impose the visa restrictions on the media personals. The BTB officials were threatened by the US ambassador, Peter D. Haas. Who is he to tell some countries that these are the things you need to do? Because this is called the colonial hangover. Because these are the peoples, those who belong to the United States, United Kingdom, Germany. These are the peoples think they are the people. Those who know, these are the people only know that what is the definition of democracy, what is the definition of human rights, what is the definitions of women's right, what is the definitions of the others' right. They are talking about those rights, and these are the rights are being violated by their own peoples on the other countries. When they invaded Afghanistan, when the United States invaded Afghanistan, when United States invaded Iraq in the name of WMD, which was not there, the weapon of mass destructions, when United States bombed Libya in the name of democracy, then they're sending the peoples in Europe, destroying their economy. Then what is the meaning of saying that they are trying to protect the democracy in Bangladesh when they are destroying the democracy or destroying any kinds of government by killing the leaders of those countries? What is that? Anyway, I am just speculating that what are the things is happening, because I'm saying on the basis of the words that has been spoken by the Dr. Harshvardhan Shringla, and he said that the radical elements are involved in this protest as well as the ISI. As a result of that, it might be China or the United States has been using the ISI, or both of them are using the ISI, Pakistan ISI, the henchman, to protest, to foment the protest in Bangladesh. So this is the end of the topic. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. If you have any questions regarding this topic or any question other anything, you can ask me on my comment section. So thank you very much again.